Hey guys, CP here for a second full stack video. Today we're going to do a follow-up on that first video that I'll put the link right here. Basically what we did in that first video, we created, developed, tested and deployed a to-do app, well a basic to-do app. Today we're going to go one step further. If you can remember, in that first video, we were saving the to-dos in an in-memory map, as we see here. And today we're going to try to add MongoDB to make them more persistent and so that the app looks more like an actual full-scale app. And then I'm going to showcase you the new deployed features that I added to FullStacked. And finally, the third thing that I really wanted to show you guys is, as you probably noticed, we're on Windows. And the first video was on macOS, and today we're going to use Windows, so you'll see that all the features work perfectly on both OSs. All right, so the other video, I showed how I set up my light cell instance, which I already done with a static IP. And I already pointed my subdomain to that instance. So we're gonna skip this. And if you wanna see how to set it up, please just watch my first video. So we're gonna start directly to add Mongo. I'm just gonna run the test quickly. So just to make sure everything's fine, and you'll see the app real quick on the end-to-end tests, so you can remember a bit how it looks like. So our integration tests are all fine. There we go. It was that basic to-do app. Okay, everything's fine. So let's start to add MongoDB. If you check out the website's documentation, I added an example on how to set it up. We'll follow this, so you see that it does work. So first thing to do, we'll add our Docker compose file. Sure, there we go. And then we'll need our new dependency to connect. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll just set it up like this. A bit faster this way. This is good. Okay. So how we're gonna do it? We're gonna create a class where it will hold the MongoDB connection, that client connection, and it also gonna hold the URL, well, the URI on where to connect Mongo. The reason why we're going to do it like that is that when we're going to test and when we're going to run the app, there's a bit of a difference, and it's not a feature, it's just that everything runs inside a Docker environment, a Docker network like this. And when we're in this sort of setup, the node and the Mongo can communicate without any issue while still isolating the containers. So the communication here is super simple. But when we're testing, we're running our server from our host Node.js, the Node.js we did install on our machine. So connecting to the Mongo is a bit harder because it's inside the Docker network. Anyway, you don't need to understand this whole concept, but you'll see that there's a lot of limbo on how to connect to the MongoDB while testing and not while testing. But this is not a feature, this is an actual issue that I will be working on lately. Hopefully everything could work in this sort of setup, running, watching, testing. Well, everything runs this way except testing, so we're not going to focus on that. We'll focus more on simply just adding Mongo and showing how the deployment is super simple. afterwards. Okay, so this is the limbo I've been talking about. So when we're going to test, we're going to switch the host before the first get connection, and we're going to be able to like point to another host, but actually it's just this what I meant. So it's usually going to communicate this way, and when we're testing, just before starting the first connection, we're going to swap for this type of communication and run the test. Anyway, no, I won't talk about this. All right, so we're gonna set up our register command, which is gonna return a router. Here we're gonna set up all our endpoints. Okay, so let's start our watcher. And let's see. Oh, I didn't register the route, so this makes no sense. Save that. Server is rebuilt, restarting, and listening. All right, let's see how this goes. Looks pretty fine to me. Check. We didn't edit our front. We didn't edit our front end yet. So let's just see. There's already a bunch of type errors. So let's just fix this real quick. Okay, did rebuild. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty fine to me. Everything looks good. So now we're just gonna check if the test works fine. Oh, there's still a type error here. Oh, yeah, because it's an object ID, so just let's call it toString here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now the tests. Okay, let's try it out. And let's see how it goes. I got my Docker desktop here, and you'll see that what happened with the helper integration is that it runs all your other containers. It stopped the node because the node is running here, right? Once again, the node is running here. All right, so the test passes, we can generate our code coverage, and as you can see, it's 100% because, well, it's pretty easy to test. There's nothing much. Just to show you how the code coverage looks like, there we go. And as you can see, our server is fully tested, our Mongo is all tested. So this is nice, this is ready to be deployed. So let's hit it. Or IP address. Now I will show you how deploying is simple. All I gotta do, FullStacked, deployed. Okay, our host is this guy. Or username is EC2 user. Our private key is key.pm. And our app directory will be home/residues. For Amazon Lightsail, you need to put this as app directory because the other one has doesn't have the right permissions. But on your own server or on a VPS, you wouldn't even need to put the app directory there. So let's hit it. Okay, if I'm yes. I'm about to install Docker, yes. Launching the tests. Okay, so now it asks you to add the server name. It's todos dot. Okay, for the port at Mongo, we don't want anything to reach this or whatever. Right now it's shipping the app, and then Jinx will route your server name to that app. So if you want to deploy a second or third or fourth app on that same server, all that you got to do is just change that server name, and FullStacked is taking care of all the port mapping and the Nginx reverse proxying. You won't even have to bother with this. Then I forgot that I needed this rule here. Okay. There we go. So right now it's taking a bit of a time to deploy because it's pulling all the images for MongoDB and Node, but there we go, it's started. So let's test it out. And here we go, we got our app here. That seems to work. Pretty much looking good to me. Data looks pretty much persistent. And I added the code coverage there if you want to check it out. And yeah, that's our latest app, that's for sure. So there we go. We deployed a full-scale app, well, a small full-scale app to our server that easily. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just going to show you a few stuff. As you see, we followed the MongoDB example, and for my next release, I really want to add a bunch of tools and apps that are all open source, by the way, but are also very popular. And I'll try to add an example on how to add them to your stack, so you'll be able to deploy full-scale app or a full set of tools easily and rapidly. So I hope I interested you, and yeah, try FullStack if you feel like it, and feel free to add comment, ask question or anything. I'm always available on the chat on fullstacked.org. So till next time, all right, see ya.